जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जयो अनंत देव। लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जयो अनंत देव। जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। पतित पावन गुरु महाराज की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरे कृष्णा। So today we are discussing Srimad Bhagavatam 1.11.39. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udhirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. So Hare Krishna, let me quickly share my screen. I hope my screen is visible. So we are discussing Srimad Bhagavatam 1.11.39 and the chapter name is Krishna is returning back to Dwarika. Hare Krishna. So we'll begin now. I want one devotee to be my chorus if it is possible. Tam me nire mudha, tam me nire abala mudha. Tam menire abla mudha strainam chanuvratam raha strainam chanuvratam raha apramana vidho bhartur ishwaram matayo yatha. Word by word meaning. Come unto Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa, menire took it for granted, abala delicate, Mudha, because of simplicity. Strainam, one who is dominated by his wife. Cha, also. Anuvratam, follower. Raha, lonely place. Apramana vidaha, unaware of extent of glories. Bharatu, of their husband. Ishwaram, the supreme controller. Matya, this is. Yatha, as it is. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The simple and delicate woman truly thought that Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa, their beloved husband, followed them and was dominated by them. I'll just repeat it. The simple and delicate woman truly thought that Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa, their beloved husband, followed them and was dominated by them. They were unaware of the extent of the glories of their husband, as the atheists are unaware of him as the supreme controller. Purport. Even the transcendental wives of Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa did not know completely the unfathomable glories of the Lord. This ignorance is not mundane because there is some action of internal potency of the Lord in the exchange of feeling between him and his eternal associates. The Lord exchanges transcendental relation in 5 ways as proprietor, master, friend, son, and lover. And in each of these pastimes, he plays fully by the potency of Yoga Maya, the internal potency. He plays exactly like an equal friend with the cowherd boys or even the friends like Arjuna or even with friends like Arjuna. He plays exactly like a son in the presence of Yashoda Mata. He plays exactly like a lover in the presence of cowherd damsel. And he plays exactly like a husband in the presence of queens of Dwarika. Such devotees of the Lord never think of the Lord as the supreme, but think of him exactly as a common friend, a pet son, or a lover, or a husband very much dear to heart and soul. That is the relation between the Lord and his transcendental devotees, who act as his associates in the spiritual sky, where there are innumerable Vaikuntha planets. When the Lord descends, he does so along with his entourage to display a complete picture of the transcendental world, where pure love and devotion for the Lord prevail without any mundane tinge of lording it over the creation of the Lord. Such devotees of the Lord are all liberated souls, perfect representations of the marginal or internal potency in complete negation of the influence of external potency. The wives of Lord Krishna were made to forget the immeasurable glories of the Lord by the internal potency so that there might not be any flaw of exchange. And they took it for granted that Lord was a henpecked husband, always following them in lonely places. In other words, even the personal associates of the Lord do not know him perfectly well. So, what do the theses, writers, or mental speculators know about the transcendental glories of the Lord? The mental speculators present different theses as to his becoming the cause of the creation, the ingredients of the creation, or the material and efficient cause of the creation, etc. But all this is but partial knowledge about the Lord. Factually, they are as ignorant as the common man. The Lord can be known by the mercy of the Lord only, and by no other means. But since the dealing of the Lord with his wives are based on pure transcendental love and devotion, the wives are all on the transcendental plane without material contamination. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapad Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahgana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sachivam साद्वैतम सावधूतम परिजन सहितम कृष्ण चैतन्य देवम श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितम हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता श्री राधा कांता नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्री गुरुदीनकारणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्री चैतन्येश्वरम्। Hare Krishna. So interesting topic, and I think many of us can relate to this. So here the point to note is that, I'll go slowly with the purport. The point to note here is that even though the wives of Lord Śrī Krishna are not, not realizing Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but that exchange is not, not contaminated. It is not that, not like that the atheists who do not know Krishna and they offenses. It is but purely by the internal potency of the Supreme Lord, by Yoga Maya. Otherwise, just imagine what would be the dealings of the Lord with the wives. So here we see that, the wives of Lord Śrī Krishna are attached with Śrī Krishna, and then they are considering Krishna as the normal person and, somebody who is very much attached to their wives, something like that. So this is not a very this is not a contaminated stage. This is a good stage where they are having their personal dealings with the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, it will not be possible for them to have any kind of dealings with the Lord if they consider Lord as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So there are two things we need to understand, where the devotees are not considering Krishna as God, and the non-devotees who are not considering Krishna as God. There is a big difference between both of them. The exchange of devotees is due to the love, the excessive love which they have for the Supreme Lord. Whereas for the karmis, I just pity for them, because here Prabhupada is mentioning they are just like the normal man, who the scholars and all who just come and say that, okay, I will tell about Krishna, I will explain about Krishna, and they will give their own theses and presentations. So it is very, very difficult, for them to know. They are just like normal men who have no other knowledge. They don't know anything about Krishna, in fact. because Krishna is only, we can know Krishna only to that extent that Krishna reveals himself. Otherwise, we will not know Krishna. Whatever efforts we do, whatever hard work we do, how much ever books we read, or how much ever dedication we show. If Krishna is not pleased with our efforts, then we will never know Krishna. Krishna is going to reveal himself to us, and Krishna reveals himself to us through his devotees. Devotees who have understood Krishna, who has Krishna in their heart, can only give Krishna to other devotees. So this transfer of knowledge, this transfer of love of Krishna is heart to heart. It is not that somebody said and you heard and it is done. No, it is heart to heart. Until unless a person is realized, the person cannot give Krishna to anyone. To give Krishna, it is important that we realize Krishna first, we understand Krishna first, we have our own, the examples of reciprocation which Lord has done with us. Only then we can know a little bit about Krishna. So I'll come to this point that many times, we see that we forget. Forgetfulness is the prime cause of the jiva to be in the material world. Many times we forget, even though Krishna has reciprocated with us many times, but again we forget. As we are in the material world, we are going to office, we are having our personal dealings, we are talking to so many people, we are going through different challenges, we are getting so many success. So over a period of time, we take it for granted, we forget. But then again, Krishna reminds, okay, wait, don't forget me. I'm here. And if you forget me, then how are you going to come to me? How are you going to remember me? So Krishna is very much worried about it. So he is trying his best to remind us about himself, but time and again we forget. And it is not only with us; it is with so many people. It has happened in the past, and that is why when we read Srimad Bhagavatam, we become more careful. We are more cautioned that okay, this happened with this person who was very much advanced, very powerful position. So it can happen to us also. And then we are the Kali Yuga pranis. We do not have, very powerful remembrance. We are forgetful. So it is always advised, I remember Shivas Prabhu used to mention that make short notes. So if you're reading something which is very touching, which is very eye-opening for you, so we can make a note of it and keep it with us. And Prabhu used to mention, don't make very lengthy notes and notes of everything, otherwise you will create another Bhagavad Gita. So make note of something which is very, very, it's an eye-opener fact, and which is something very, very important, which you can share with somebody, something like that, which can bring a change in anyone's life. So make note of it, of all those striking points, and that is going to help us to remember, because we are Kali Yuga pranis, we will not remember. That's the reason, yesterday Madhurapati Prabhu was mentioning that Vyasadev had to write, these things. Otherwise, it was not initially in the written format, Srimad Bhagavatam and all. It was just heard from guru to disciple, and that is how this knowledge was transferred. But as we enter into Kali Yuga, it is important that we have the written documents. Otherwise, we'll forget. And everywhere we see that we have written documents in place. Otherwise, nobody will remember. So many times Krishna has done so much of reciprocation with us. Krishna says, Ye yatha mam prapadyante. So in our bhakti life, we are going up and down like this. We are going. So Krishna is doing a lot of reciprocation, and sometimes we write it. I used to write and keep all the points where I felt, oh, Krishna's presence was here, and Krishna has helped me in so many situations, so many things, and so many knowledge are revealed by Krishna, and I have written down those things. But the funny part is that over a period of time, sometimes we forget that where did I write? Did I write somewhere, or did I not write, or where did I write? So we forget like that. It's like that there was a movie, Amir Khan movie, Gajini, where he used to write, in his body. I think in South India it was Surya who acted in that movie. So he used to write in his body, Kalpana was killed and things like that. So like that, it is a time that we have so many texts written, we can keep those texts in our houses, important shlokas in our, cupboard or almirahs or our laptop, screensaver or something like that. We have to have those shlokas, those references, those striking points somewhere visible, so that it doesn't go out of our memory, it doesn't go out of our head. Sometimes we write and keep in a book, and that book, I don't know where it goes. But when we find that book, then again we realize, oh, we had written so many things. How did I forget? Okay, this is the purpose of life. So we have to write in such a manner. I remember, I think I went to Rajamandri with Matrapati Prabhu long back. So in that temple, outside the temple, they had written the Bhagavad Gita shlokas on the walls. So I was thinking, oh, this is nice that anybody who is a layman, he can also see, oh, Bhagavad Gita, this is what is written. Otherwise, people don't even open Bhagavad Gita thinking that it is a religious book and something to do with mythology and nothing to do with myths. So that's the point. So I'll give some examples where people have forgotten about Krishna, and the problem is that when we forget about Krishna, we tend to waste a lot of time, and by the time we come back we would have lost a lot of time, and this coming back route is also very difficult. So it is very important that when we are practicing Krishna consciousness, we are very, very careful. Otherwise this forgetfulness will come to us. We are going to become very, very arrogant, puffed up, and then we make a lot of offenses. And once we make offenses, we develop the desire of sense gratification and sense enjoyment. Gauranga Das Prabhu was mentioning in one of the lecture that when a devotee offends another devotee, their bhakti is destroyed. And how bhakti is destroyed? Immediately the person gets some sense gratification desire. And the moment person goes into sense gratification, then there is no interest in Krishna consciousness. Even Bhagavad Gita says that Bhogeshwarya prasaktanam taya pahata chetasam vyavasayatmaka buddhi samadhavana vidiyate. If somebody is too much engaged in Bhog and Aishwarya, then that person has got no interest in Krishna consciousness. And that is what happens when we offend a Vaishnava. We develop a desire of sense gratification. So when we are having this desire in our heart, which is telling us, okay, why don't you do this? Why don't you enjoy your senses like this? Why don't you go here? Why don't you eat this? Why don't you take this? Then that's a signal that, some Vaishnava has been offended by us. And that is why we are developing that desire of sense gratification. It's a very risky thing. It is going to destroy our bhakti. And by the time we realize and come back, we would have lost so many years. We would have lost so much of time and things like that. And it will make a very difficult thing for our life. We can take the example of Indra. Indra even though he was the head of all the devatas, he was bewildered not one, not two, but many times. We see he was the one who kept doing a lot of mistakes. He was the one who offended his guru, Brihaspati, for more than one occasion, and then suffered a lot. In one instance, he became a pig. So he became a pig, and then see, this is what happens. A Vaishnava was offended and he had the desire of sense gratification. He became a pig. He became a pig. So when he becomes a pig, he becomes a shukar. So that time Narad Maharishi will go to him and ask him to come back to his position so that he can take care of his position as a king of heaven. But Indra denies. He says, no, I'm very happy here. He says, see, I'm happy here because I've got so many wives. I've got 12 children. And these cute children and wives, I cannot leave. And he starts rolling in the stool. So that becomes the condition of a jiva when a jiva offends another devotee or guru. So the position becomes very bad. Then where is the chance for them to come back to Krishna consciousness? In another instance, we see Indra, even though he was taught nice lessons by Krishna in the Govardhan Leela, but even in spite of that, when Krishna was in Dwarika and Satyabhama will desire to have the Parija tree from heaven, from Indraloka. So that time Indra will deny Krishna, saying that I cannot give you Parijat tree. If you have to take Parijat, you have to fight with me. And remember, this is the same Indra who was taught a nice lesson. So even though they are taught nice lessons, they keep forgetting these things. And then because of that, they suffer a lot. Like we see Indra suffered when he became a pig. And then in the other instance, when he offended his guru, he suffered so much. Yesterday's Bhagavatam we were hearing that his kingdom and everything was lost. Then he had to take the shelter of Brahmaji. And when he went to Brahmaji, his condition was very bad. He was wounded by so many arrows. He was pathetic. He was running away to save his life. And in that situation, when he goes to Brahmaji first he will scold him, and then later on Brahmaji gives a solution that please take shelter of Guru, which is Vishwarupa. And then by the help of Vishwarupa, he gets the protection of Narayan Kamach and he comes back to his position. But you see what a lengthy route he had to take, not just because he committed a mistake. And that is why this forgetfulness and this offending nature, sometimes it is very, very dangerous for a devotee, because not only one life, two life, but hundreds and thousands of lives a devotee will have to live if a devotee is not learning by the mistakes which he or she is committing. So Indra was one example. We can see another example was Brahmaji. Brahmaji became bewildered when he saw Krishna eating along with his Gopa boys. So Gopa boys and Krishna, they were, they used to behave in a very friendly manner. They used to go for, take the cows for grazing. And when the cows are, enjoying the green grass, then they used to eat the lunch prasadam which their mothers have packed. And they used to share and eat nicely. And then when somebody told that Krishna is the Supreme Personality, so Brahma says, what kind of God he is? He's eating all the jutha of Gopa boys. And then in one instance, Brahmaji sees that Krishna is willing to eat the buttermilk, drink buttermilk. So before Krishna approaches buttermilk, there was another devotee, Madhumangal. Madhumangal was the one who did not give any opportunity for any other gopas. He will finish off the laddus, mangoes, milk, buttermilk, whatnot. So this time, this Madhumangal, he took this pot of buttermilk and he drank buttermilk, and Krishna wanted to drink. So what Krishna did, and Madhumangal, in order to consume more and more, he just filled his mouth like this, like, like when we drink a lot of water, he did like this, he did. And then Krishna, when Krishna saw that in the pot nothing is left, and Krishna wanted to drink buttermilk, so what he did, this the cheeks of Madhumangal, Krishna pressed the cheeks of Madhumangal, and because of that, the milk which was the buttermilk which was there in the mouth of Madhumangal, it came out. And when it came out, Krishna started drinking from mouth of, Madhumangal. And then when Brahmaji saw that, he said, how can this person be a god? He's drinking all juta and all. Oh, he cannot be a god and all. And then even though he was told that, this Krishna has killed Aghasura, then Brahma says, no, he must be some, some Mayavi Tattva something. He is not God. And then later on, Krishna does that Brahma Vimohan Leela when Brahma takes away all these Gopa boys and everyone. And then Krishna creates in multiple forms and, in numerous forms, he expands himself. And then Brahma is bewildered, he's thinking, oh, then he realizes Krishna is Supreme God. And then Krishna calls so many Brahmas come, thousands of Brahma, 10-headed Brahma, 100-headed Brahma will come. And then he will know, okay, Brahma is not only one, but there are several Brahmas. And then he will understand his position. So see, when Brahma had to go through a lot of difficulties, so this was not the only difficulty. Brahmaji became very sad that, he could not understand Krishna. So he requests Krishna that, Krishna, when you come in the Chaitanya Leela, please do involve me in your pastimes. And then it is only Brahma who became Haridas Thakur, and he comes back, in the Muslim family. And from the Muslim family, he starts preaching, Krishna consciousness and the chanting of the glories of the holy name. Just imagine a Muslim doing Harinam. It is just the opposite. And Brahma did that role. And not only did he did that role, he was taken to 22 marketplaces and he was beaten because the Nawab of that place, he had advised him to stop chanting. So he said, I will do all the, Quran, I will read and I will do everything. But don't ask me to stop chanting the holy name. That I cannot stop. So this Nawab will say, if you don't stop, then you will have to take the beatings. And then these people, they took Brahmaji in the form of Haridas Thakur, and they were beating him so much in 22 marketplaces. But then Brahmaji was still there. He was chanting. And then these people, these Jallads who were there, they will pray to Haridas Thakur. They will say, Are, why are you not dying? If you don't die, then these people, they are going to kill our family. The Nawab is going to kill our family. So please die. So at that point of time, Haridas Thakur will enact as if he's dead, and they will throw him in the water. And after that, he will come out and he will, he will again start preaching. And it is known that, when Haridas Thakur was getting the beatings, all that beatings were taken by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that's the connection of, Krishna along with his devotees. So the point to understand here is that when we make some mistakes, then it is not only the devotee who suffers, but also the Lord will suffer along with us. So it is important that we are very, very careful. We can see several other examples of Ajamila, who became attached to prostitute. Then it took a long route for him to come back. And then in the end, he sees Vishnu Dutas. And then, he had to do another 12, 13 years of tapasya before he goes back to Goloka. So the point here is that, one more thing we can notice, that all these people who are very puffed up are the ones who made mistakes. Indra, Brahma, Ajamila, they were all puffed up and at a very big positions. So if we remain very humble, like Haridas Thakur, like Prahlad Maharaj, like Shabri, like Sudama, Hanumanji, these are the examples of humble devotees who always attracted the attention of Krishna. Like Kuluvecha Sridhar, if you see in the Chaitanya Leela, we don't have so much time to talk about it, but yes, you can browse. Kuluvecha Sridhar attracted the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to always go to him in order to bargain with him, and he used to relish that Leela along with Kuluvecha Sridhar. So because he was very simple, so he was not attracted by Maya, but Krishna was attracted by Kuluvecha Sridhar. Lord Chaitanya was attracted. Lord Śrī Ram was attracted by Hanumanji. Krishna was attracted towards Sudama. Lord Śrī Ram was attracted towards Shabri. Narsimhadev was attracted towards Prahlad Maharaj. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was attracted towards Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur was not allowed entry in Jagannath Puri temple, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally used to go and visit him. So coming to the point, since it is 6:40, coming to the conclusion, many times, we may not understand Krishna because his leelas, his pastimes are bewildering. But a devotee is very, very easily understanding Krishna. Like Prahlad could see Narsimha in the pillar, correct? And when you see the example of Duryodhana and Ravana, they were personally seeing Krishna and Lord Sri Ram, but they were not able to understand. So this is the point, when we talk about the wives of Lord Shri Krishna, then it is okay because they are doing that Leela. But along with that, I just wanted to, highlight on other aspects where we forget about Krishna and we treat him as a not normal person, or we do not realize. See, sometimes when we offer bhoga to the Lord, so people will ask, how is that Lord eating? He is a pitcher. How can he eat? So that time we give so many theories. Oh, no, he can eat like this. But very simple in Shastras, it is mentioned that Krishna can do everything from his indriyas. Like 2 days back, we were hearing in the Shankpani Prabhu's class, Krishna's from eyes he can eat, from ears he can smell. We have 5 senses, but Krishna's all the senses work in the similar manner. He can do everything from all his senses. So he can definitely eat from his eyes, from the glance, he can definitely eat. So it's such simple thing, but we forget that, okay, sometimes we have doubts of, is Krishna eating or it is just like that? So we have come to the conclusion part. The conclusion is that, we have to be careful with our dealing. We cannot understand Krishna just by theoretical knowledge, by reading books. But if you have to understand Krishna, we have to be very, very simple and very, very humble devotee. Then Krishna will be attracted. He will reveal himself to us. And then we will know. If we become puffed up, if we become arrogant, then remember Krishna is never going to be, interested in us. And we will be dry in our Krishna consciousness. We will think that why, we will become all the more arrogant, because we are not trying to become humble. We are not trying to, serve. We are just trying to become boss. We are trying to guide somebody. The role of a leader is to guide the members, and the role of the members is to always respect the leader and respect, the Siksha Guru and follow the instructions. Sometimes we see the members become the Guru of Siksha Guru. So they start pointing out mistakes of Siksha Guru only. Then if the Siksha Guru cannot tell their members that, you have to do like this and you have to be careful in situation, this was your mistake, then what is the role of Siksha Guru? So in such instances, the members should be carefully following the guidance of Siksha Guru and not teach them that you should not be talking like this, you should be humble. Then that becomes a difficult, then that becomes all the more offensive. So we'll stop here. If I've committed any mistakes, please do forgive me. And if there are any points you want to add, you are welcome. You can add any points. If you have any questions, also you can unmute and ask questions. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Patit Pavan Guru Maharaj ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.